Powdered wigs. They were once a fashion staple of 1700s nobility and seen in countless paintings of the founding fathers of the United States. Why did people wear them, and why are they gone now? It is actually an older practice than you would guess. Nobility wearing wigs stretches all the way back to ancient Egypt. These wigs were made from human hair, horse hair, wool, plant fibers, and held together by beeswax or resin. Due to the cost of these hair pieces, it was seen as a sign of status and wealth. A particularly interesting example are the Nubian wigs that historians believe were made popular by Queen Nefertiti. They were created to mimic the hair of Nubian tribespeople. This practice carried on throughout various empires, but the powdered wig actually originates with Louis XIII. He began to lose his hair in his early 20s and decided the best way to handle this was to start wearing wigs. His son was considered a fashion icon in his time, and when he began to wear wigs himself, this trend spread like wildfire throughout Europe. A guild of barbers and wig makers formed in Paris due to the high demand, but when did they start putting powder in the powdered wigs? You see, wigs could not be washed and instead were caked in powders to hide the smell and drive away potential parasites. Powdered wigs were now associated with an even higher class of wealth than just a plain ordinary wig. Different styles began to emerge and Marie Antoinette became the face of towering hairpieces. Another influencing factor would be hair loss caused by syphilis that many royals suffered from at the time. Lice was another issue made easier by allowing people to trim down their natural hair and then cover it without being embarrassed. To the average person, these wigs were seen as silly. Art like 5 orders of periwigs and cartoons were made to mock the fashion trend. While declining in popularity with time, the French Revolution is credited with ending the practice. To fund the Napoleonic Wars, Britain had implemented a hair powder tax in 1795. Anyone who wanted to use hair powder had to obtain a certificate that costed 1 guinea every year. In modern money, this translates to 100 euros or 103 USD. Towards the end of the 18th century, wigs were now out of style. The new era of revolutionary leaders like Napoleon Bonaparte and George Washington saw them embracing their natural hair. Despite what most of us believe, George Washington never wore wigs. He had his natural red hair that he powdered white to fit with the fashion of the time. Moving to the 2020s, the only place you'll find these wigs are on the heads of barristers and judges in Britain, the very country whose taxes became a nail in the coffin for this very trend. Traditionally, wigs were worn in the courtroom and the practice continues to this day. So tell me what you think. Do you hate Napoleon for unintentionally destroying such an iconic look, or do you think it was about time those hideous wigs disappeared? If the only thing standing between you and a jail cell were people in silly wigs, how would you feel? All I know is it feels great to live in the United States, where we hide our bald spots with baseball caps. Thanks for watching.